So Ernest Hemingway, one of his famous quotes was that all thinking men are atheists. I completely and totally understand that thinking as it relates to religion on our planet. But that's a human way of thinking about God. Humans are not capable of contemplating or thinking about God in any serious sense. We just don't have the fucking gray matter for it. We don't. My near-death experience and the near-death experience of many others, the reason they're strikingly similar is because it's a process. Death is a process just like birth. The way my memory works, I have a very strong memory of a feeling of loss. This was before I discovered I hated breast milk. And I remember that. I remember sucking on my mom's tit and going, I hate this. This is terrible. And being hungry all the time. And my mom finally switched me to like a condensed milk, kind of a formula. When I told her about that 45 years later, she freaked out. She was just shocked. The look on her face was total shock. She says, how do you know that? I said, I remember it, Mom. I remember discovering my hands, that this is what was hitting me. And she said I would just get beet red hitting myself. I would get beet red. And then I finally discovered I could control them. I have very, very clear and vivid memories of that. I also have a vivid memory where I don't have a body. I'm not aware of that I have a body. But I'm very, very distraught because something is fading. Something so incredibly important is fading. I'm losing it. It's going away, and I'm afraid. And my world is changing. And I believe that was just me forgetting about what came before this life. Just like many, many, many years of my life was consumed by the emotions and the feelings I had during my near-death experience, where I was. The kind of love that I felt, the kind of love and understanding that I felt does not exist in this plane, does not exist in the physical universe. A friend of mine once said, oh, well, that's just the brain's way of dealing with death. I said, yes, it is. I said, I want you to tell me something. If time stopped for you, would you know you were dead or alive? If time stopped, time no longer proceeded forward, would you know if you were dead or alive? I said, during your dying process, if time stopped mattering, if time no longer existed during your death, then you would live for all eternity, would you not? That kind of hit him hard. Having too many medical problems, I'm thinking about my mortality a lot lately. And you know, I'm kind of, you know, in one way, I feel very joyous because I have no fear of death itself, only of how I die. I only have certain fears about death, and they have names. Okay? Katie, Harmony, Olivia. It has names. Though my fears have names. That's all I fear. Every moment I've lived since I was a very young child, when I drowned, I've been living on borrowed time because I had something to do. And it would be towards the end of, I don't want to say humanity, it was towards the end of normal life for this planet. The horrors. Now you have to remember, at this point I'm still just a little boy, and they showed me things that would happen in my life after I went back. Not just things that I would do, but things that happened around me, the condition of the world. And in the end, it was terrifyingly bad. I literally was changing my mind. Okay, I don't want to go back. And they said, well, that's too late. This is what you chose. Because they knew I would go back. Why? Because everyone goes back. You're not allowed to leave a gap in the time crystal of existence. It's just not allowed. Your little piece of time-space will be filled the way it's supposed to be. It will be complete. God's plan, or the crystal that I talk about, will be perfection. Nothing less than perfection. And that's just the plan. And when they told me why things were that way, I suffered for many, many years with an overwhelming sensation of a knowledge that I couldn't remember. All I could remember was the emotional content. Of course that's why. See, God has a plan. There's a reason. And it's so deep and comprehensive that we give us 1,000,000 years of evolution and we might be able to begin to understand. I always use the amoeba and trying to explain your iPhone to an amoeba or a single-celled animal. The idea of even starting to try to explain that is laughable, which is where we are right now on the evolutionary scale when it comes to a 14 billion year old universe. Getting contemplative, the sicker I get and the closer to my end I get, the more meaningful my near-death experience becomes. Having too many health issues, heart especially. But I almost feel like I've accomplished my task. My wife doesn't like to hear me say that. She knows this story inside and out. She heard it the day we met, and it hasn't changed since then. And when I say shit like this, she goes, "What, are you telling me you're done? You're ready to die?" I said, "No, that's not how it happens. It's not how I relate or think about it. I came back to do a job for people that needed to hear me say what I say." Now, some people just are like, "Oh, that's just gibberish bullshit." And other people are like, "I completely fucking understand what this guy is saying. I relate to that very much." Those are the people I'm supposed to talk to, and those are the people that are supposed to see my videos. Everything else is just me ranting about, this fucking world and my life and, circumstance. And the majority of what I produce is really just me seeking mental therapy. But when I talk about my near-death experience, this is for people out there who, like Ernest Hemingway, all thinking men are atheists. And this is why I have my channel, because all thinking men are atheists. To think any other way, to be anything other than an atheist and call yourself a thinking man is a joke. I went in and out the anus of religion. Every one of them on this planet are created by men to control men. Some of them are made to control women. We know what I'm talking about. What, are those guys terrified of vaginas? Is that it? These fucking Muslim guys are terrified of vaginas? That's what I'm starting to think. They're terrified of vaginas. They're all porn dogs. When the military would go in and search these places, they'd find porn magazines stacked up, a foot tall underneath their beds. All of them. Religion is created by men to control men. All the way back to the very beginning when that first guy noticed that, hey, that fucking star used to be over here. And what did he do? Oh, he knows the creator. And this is why he has this information, and he talks to God. And next thing you know, people are giving him free food and everything, and he's the Word of God. They love that shit, don't they? Look at the Vatican. Every time I think about the Vatican, I'm so disgusted and horrified. Literally horrified. Nazi-loving fucking greedy motherfuckers, man. Drinking out of gold cups. You see how they dress? Did you not read the Bible? The Bible that, you guys created, did you not read it? Where it talks about dressing the way you dress, acting the way you act. Did you not read the book? With your tall hats and your gold lace and your gold trim and your gold cups? Did you not? You should be the poorest church in the world, not the richest. If you have anything to do with God, you shouldn't own a single fucking thing. Yet they have paintings that could feed thousands of starving people. They have gold chalices that could feed thousands of starving people. They have billions and billions and billions of dollars in the bank that could feed thousands of people. They are the last and furthest thing from fucking God that you can imagine on this planet because they're hypocritical. Another thing, did you not read the book? You hypocrites. No, see, the God that I saw is so far above and beyond anything humans can contemplate. It's a joke. It's like explaining an iPhone to a fucking amoeba. For you to even open your mouth and speak about knowing God or understanding what God thinks or wants, okay? I didn't get to talk to God. God didn't talk to me. I talked to the beings that serve God. Were they advanced beings? Yeah. A billion years from now, we probably won't use our physical bodies anymore because they're so problematic. Biological machines are so, in all their perfection and wonderment, they're still just pathetically fucking poor. And, if you imagine overcoming death because of your knowledge of genetics, if you don't think that hasn't happened in the universe, that there are beings out there that discovered millions and billions of years ago how to live forever, I don't know the problems that would cause on our planet. I can tell you right now that they're working on it, and that poor starving people won't get it. I can tell you that. Who's going to get it? Of course, the fucking billionaires, the people that are controlling shit right now. This is what bothers me. It's man's inability to take care of his fellow man. You are your brother's keeper. Every fucking one of you are. And if you have billions of dollars and a child starves to death tomorrow morning, you're responsible. You're responsible. If you have the fucking means to save someone and instead you blow your fucking ego up by buying a losing company so you can have it as a mouthpiece for your ego, how many people could $44 billion feed? You see, you could boost your ego to the stars. You could boost your fame and your indelible place in history, okay, by spending $44 billion feeding people. But what do? See, this is the fallacy of man. He's no closer to fucking God than, I mean, I told you, we are out on the outer edge of this almost like an accretion disk with God in the middle like the sun. And there's a plane of beings that goes on. I always use the term 5 light years of beings all standing there around God. And we are way, 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 way out on the edge. I was shown that. I was shown where we exist. We are barely fucking making it. Barely. But because of our sentience and our ability to change the universe at will, okay, we are special. We do continue on after death. Our spirit is corporeal. It stays together. You know, I'm trying to find, I'm not sure where it's at. I have some notes on the quantum computational function of microtubules in your body. I think you should look at that. I've said it many times, but I know that people, in my comments, I'm not hearing anyone that's read about microtubules and the computational events that happen there, about tubulin. Please do that. Okay? Sir Roger Penrose is involved, and he's pretty much the smartest man on the planet, so you might want to listen to him, the quote goes. I just feel that I'm close to doing what I was supposed to do. Close. I'm very, very close to doing what I was sent back to do. I made a deal that I would come and do this. What it was for or anything, I don't know. But I said that, yes, I would come back and do this. This is what I'm supposed to do. Well, that's because this was my job from the very beginning, before I drowned, and that's why I didn't drown. That's why the miracle happened. It was the person who saved my life had all the skills necessary. He was not just an incredible fucking athlete, but he had all of the medical training, and the guy didn't give up. Even when everyone said I was dead after 6 minutes of giving me CPR, and I don't know how long I was in the water before the guy fucking pulled me out. How he found me, I mean, all of it was just a miracle, a true miracle. Because it just wasn't my time. And that was his job. His job was to be there to save me. And he fulfilled his task. After that, I hope he lived a full, happy, wonderful life. I really do. I tried for years to find him, but back when I was making the attempt, it was too hard, and now I'm sure that he's gone by now, because he was in his late 20s. That's all my mom remembered, was that he was in his late 20s and he had dark hair. And when I woke up and I attacked the guy like a wild animal, they said I had all the energy of a wild beast. Isn't that weird? I came up off the ground, they said, like that, and I attacked the guy, full swinging, mad, because he brought me back. Because at that moment during my near-death experience, when they showed me what my life would be like, when I went back all the way up to my split, my why, I saw all the terrors and the horrors of the world, and I was so mad that I got sent back. I hope he understands. I always felt so bad about that. You know, what I really wanted to do was hug him and kiss him, you know what I mean? And say that you gave me my purpose in life. You are your brother's keeper. If you have the means. Some of us have the means, some of us don't. You know, I contributed vast amount of profit to people who couldn't afford it. And it felt good doing it. And I realized that giving is so much more satisfying than receiving. Especially since usually when you receive something, it's not out of kindness or generosity, there's a reason. And so I made sure that the people that I helped out, I just helped out blindly. I literally went up to the apartment buildings and gave everybody ounces of pot. Everyone who lived there. Yeah, around 50,000 a year for 15 years is what I donated. You are your brother's keeper. Any excess that you have, you should shed it for others. That's the point. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to not own a house. You don't have to, you don't have to be homeless and all that. You don't have to go live in a cave like a hermit. But if you have excess, more than you need, that needs to be spent helping others, not buying Twitter, not buying up farmland, not buying giant fucking boats or having dick fights in space. It should be taking care of the less fortunate on this planet that this world decides to shit on because it doesn't serve the system. That body doesn't serve the system in any way. Look what they do to child laborers in Africa. We know what's going on. Does it stop? Nope. You get a news article here and there, and then that's it. Right back to fucking business as usual. What I was shown was just so horrifying and terrifying. We will destroy ourselves. This is all I worry about, because I would like to be there holding my loved ones when the end came, instead of being gone already and having them have to do it on their own. That's all I worry about, is what's going to happen to the people I love after I'm gone. That's all I worry about. Not about me. I know where I'm going. I can't see those people getting along without me. Of course they will. Of course they will. I've tried to prepare them to be able to do that. Tell all the people that you care about you love them today, okay? Call them up. Say, I love you. It's real easy, and it feels good.